Well, someone thought it'd be funny to dump all their shit at my place. And right after I got cleaned up from that mob invasion too. Oh well, as the old saying goes, people are dickheads. I just wish we could go back to the good old days. Back when gas was 3 cents cheaper and people were more tolerant of shit.
This is a baby. Let's see what happens when he interacts with this movie. That's right, nothing. Increase the age and yeah, it's just not possible. Back when we were kids, we could tolerate anything, maybe even like it. Nowadays we can't step 3 feet into Scoob without breaking out into some psychotic rage. But there are some things that stay great for us. Like Cars is still a fantastic movie for me despite the warnings. And SpongeBob was so great Well maybe it will... Oh no. Well, at least I have fond memories of the game.
My memories are falling apart. Be right back. Well, I'm out of $500. Okay, I have a bit of a dilemma on my hands, so I'm going to run a series of tests to determine whether the childhood games I played back in the day are just good due to nostalgia. And what better way to do that than testing my tolerance for them with hopefully no repercussions. Yeah. And regardless of my opinion on them now, there probably are still some good licensed games out there, and I'll be seeking them out as well. And also, my trauma from rewatching Scoob has caused me to lash out and attack anytime I get confused by this licensed stuff. Now, what classifies as confusion? I've also come across another issue. It's better to have multiple people discussing these games to have a better overall rating of them. And it looks like Stanley's unavailable. And honestly, that's understandable. He's such a busy guy. In fact, he hasn't been responding to any of my messages in the past 4 months. Well, I'm sure he has his reasons. What else can I call?
I'm your alter ego. I'm here to ruin your day.
Not him.
What about me?
Who are you?
Someone who's been eating away your garbage for the last, 3 hours?
Why are you... Wait. What are you even eating in there? Everything that's in there is either plastic or soaked in uranium.
Mainly this.
I thought I destroyed that game.
Madagascar 3 is pretty straightforward when it comes to a licensed game. Not good and filled with clunky minigames pretending to tie in with the story. Also, this game tries to scam you out of money.
You know, the inconsistency of your clothing is one of the most baffling things ever, right?
Yeah, this is pretty boring. If we're gonna be talking about licensed games, we at least need a third person who actually has an opinion on the matter. Wally stinks.
I'd have to respectfully disagree with that statement because you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong about Wally. Allow me to elaborate.
Now, there's 2 major versions of the Wall-E video game. One developed by Heavy Iron Studios for Xbox 360, Wii, and PS3, and another developed by Asobo Studio for PS2, PSP, and PC. I've discussed the Asobo version in the past, but what I never really talked much about is the Heavy Iron version. I played both versions as a kid, and I will defend both versions to the day I die. So, since I've already praised Asobo enough, now feels appropriate for me to praise the Heavy Iron version. The game, of course, follows the story of the movie, primarily playing as a 3D platformer. You play as Wally for the majority of the game, and you explore through 9 different levels. 9 might not sound like a lot, but each of these levels are huge. Each level has so much to explore, and while it's all laid out quite linearly, there are still a lot of branching paths to take to find collectibles and so on. Each of these levels can take a good 20 minutes to explore and get through, that's assuming you know what you're doing. As a kid, I wasn't exactly the most effective when it came to playing video games, and took me upwards of 2 hours to beat each level. And while we're on that topic, I never did beat each level. You'll find quickly that this game is surprisingly difficult, at least for a kid's game anyway. But it's for that reason that I love this game. It isn't boring due to how child-friendly it is. The game offers a decent enough challenge to keep you attached. The platforming itself is also my favorite part about this game. I've made fun of Wally in the Asobo version for having a lackluster jump, but I take it all back. Wally has a jump in this game that puts Mario to shame, and this insane jump allows for some pretty fun platforming.
Wow! Now that's what I call opinion. If only I play the game, that way I can contribute to contradict.
What?
What?
You made me go on for like 2 minutes and you haven't even played the game?
You see, I own Wally, but I've never popped it in. I don't even remember how I got this, I just found it. And this wasn't even the version I owned. I had Wally on the Xbox 360, here's proof. But I have no memories of playing the game other than a faint thought of me not knowing how to do anything.
Well, let's pop in this Wii version I have here and... I have been spending the past several months looking for that damn Wii U and I've gotten nowhere. Alright, trusty YouTube then.
From the looks of it, this is just a basic buy-the-books 3D platformer, albeit the 360 Wii and PS3 versions are much more advanced with more interesting gameplay mechanics. And apparently Wally has jump jets in his treads or something. How the hell does he jump that high? Meanwhile, the PS2 version is much more basic with more mediocre jumping. That said, the PS2 version definitely tries to be more innovative. There's a speedometer that you have to learn to keep at full speed, as well as cutscenes that give the story more depth. Only on PS2 can you witness Wally get depressed over his best friend being unknowingly dead for days. That said, this version is more primitive in other factors, with the chapter complete section being very abrupt with no music or animation. Meanwhile, the higher end version actually does the same thing. It feels even more abrupt here. What the hell? Why does the lower end version of this game have more care put into it? That's not how this should work.
There, are you satisfied?
No!